and welcome to the End in Mind podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, the owner of Meraki Media Management. The End in Mind is a place where we come to share stories, tips, and strategies of many entrepreneurs, creatives, business owners, and just some people that aren't willing to live the traditional lifestyle. We talk about how to live outside of the box today and how to incorporate what really is important in your life to keep that end goal always in mind. Again, if you would like to reach out to me in any type of way, you can find me on Instagram at Meraki_media_management. And I hope to hear from you all soon. Thanks so much and enjoy our show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the End in Mind podcast. I have an awesome guest here with you guys today. She goes by Coco. So thank you so much for coming on today. I'm so excited to have you. Can you tell us a little bit more about your business, and then we'll just kind of jump into everything and let our listeners know what to expect throughout today's show.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this podcast episode with you. I'm an ads manager for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok ads. And I work with high-ticket coaches, course creators, and consultants to essentially create, run, manage their ads, optimize their ads, test their ads so that they can essentially generate quality leads into their business that they can sell to.
I love it.
So we can definitely jump more into that.
Yes, totally. We'll get all into it. And most of the listeners know, like, I do organic. So to have you on is the perfect kind of coupling of explaining as your business grows, how can you really drive those leads? Like, I know Meraki's getting to that place where we need more, So I'm also really excited to learn from you and kind of how to navigate this part of it, because ads to me seem so complex. It's like, where can I even begin? It's overwhelming. So tell me more about like how you got into this and how it all started. Like, did it happen overnight, or just tell us your story?
So the way it all started was, I think it was at the end of last year. I was listening to something to do with Amanda Francis. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who know who she is, the money queen. And she mentioned that in her early days, when she was growing her business, she decided to focus on the skills that she needed to focus on so that she could continue to provide better quality and experiences for the people that she was working with. And at that time, I was wondering, like, I knew I wanted to have my own business and do my own thing, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was focused on something else at the time. And then hearing her say that, and knowing that I've always wanted to like learn a skill and just be involved in something that was just so fun and dynamic and just like bigger than me. And at the time, someone mentioned digital marketing. And I'm like, digital marketing. I've always been interested in social media. I've always been fascinated by like websites and just everything I see online and like what happens on the back end, so that you see these beautiful automations and just everything that's so easy for you to do. And I'm like, okay. So I started taking some digital marketing courses online. And then the more I learned, the more intrigued I got just to step into that whole world of digital marketing, social media, content, website, everything that's involved in digital marketing. And I came across digital advertising because, that's a part of digital marketing as well. And things just worked out magically, so much so that at the same time, I came across a post on Facebook about a 6-month certification for becoming an ads manager. So this is where you have clients where you manage their ads for them for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And the more I learned that digital marketing is so multifaceted. If I tried to learn everything, I mean, it's possible, but it would just take a lot. It would make more sense to focus on one aspect of it, because I'm still involved in the whole digital marketing world, but just I'm specializing in one area of it. And when I was studying and learning, I realized that businesses that had more than one people in their business that handle like the social media part and the content part and the website part. So for me to think I'm going to learn everything, it just didn't make sense. So just everything just kind of came together perfectly. And I just knew I was being guided. And the funny thing is, I remember I was like getting therapy with my trainer, And just out of nowhere, he asked me about digital advertising. And he started talking about his website and that he had somebody working on SEO and if I ever did anything. I never mentioned to anyone that I was learning digital marketing, and he just like brought it up out of nowhere. And this wasn't conversations we normally had. Yeah. So it was just like little things that were happening that was just showing me that I was on the right path and this is what I should be doing. And so that's how I got into it. I joined the certification program and started my business this year.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it's like what we have talked about before, just for our listeners, like spirituality, the universe is like literally always on our side, you know, and it's all mindset, which I know we'll get into at the, like towards our, you know, as this interview continues, because that's a huge part of it. And obviously you feel the same way. So I'm so happy to hear you say that like all of these pieces come in though. It's like, whoa, like it, like the ball starts rolling and then it just literally snowballs out of control. And you're like, I'm here, I'm doing it, I made it, you know? And when you first start in it, it's also kind of like scary, you know? Were you feeling any of those emotions as you were going through the process, or was it a lot of excitement? I'm just very intrigued to ask, because I know some of our listeners might be at that early stage, you know, too.
Yeah, I would say there was a lot of excitement. And then once I finally figured out this is what I wanted to do and focus on becoming an ads manager and learning just how important it was and learning how the role that I get to play for other online business owners, especially, you know, with like the misconceptions that I keep coming across all the time when it comes to ads. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to speak passionately about the power of ads, because there's so much misconceptions in the narrative that are out there that I'm just going to let people know that this is not what it is. It's actually this, right? I would say start in the business and actually learning how to show up, learning how to like market it, learning how to be more bold and show myself more. I think those are the things that I would say have been the most scariest, because before I started doing this, I wasn't on social media a whole lot. So when I see people, you know, they're doing lives and they're doing reels and, you know, they're posting pictures of themselves, just, you know, in the most beautiful places. And for me, that wasn't natural at first. And as much as I felt it in my heart that I wanted to express myself as I see them expressing themselves, it wasn't the easiest at first. But as I kept going on, I just got to these places like mentally and emotionally where I'm just like, I'm just going to post this picture. I'm going to record this video and I'm just going to do it. And I just did it. And then it just became the easiest thing to do. So yeah, initially you're going like, I mean, I still feel certain things even now. There's things that I want to do, but I feel fear about them. But I also trust that it will happen. Like I'm going to do them. You just know it's something you're going to do, but I don't have to force it to happen. I just trust that it will. But yeah, initially this was excitement. But then when you start the business, you realize just the different things you have to show up as a more expanded version of you. Being a business owner, it's going to require more of you. So, and you're going to learn how to expand with it, right? So it's not something that you force, just allow it to happen. And that's going to be so much easier on you rather than trying to like do it how you think it should be done. Instead, sit with yourself, go inside, and you yourself will tell you, your intuition, your higher self, your expanded self, whatever you want to say, will let you know how to move forward. And that's the easiest.
I love that. That's like the best advice you can give, you know, because I think so many people, it's like, you kind of have to put on this mask to show up as this person that you're not. And I think that there's still some level of that as you're like leveling up or changing or pivoting as you go. But I remember when I first started my business, I felt like I had this mask on for like a year, you know, like pretending to be this person that I wasn't. And it was so like outer body experience. I had to really like narrow that back in and look at myself internally. Like, am I actually showing up how I want to, or am I being this person that I shouldn't be, you know, or I don't even really want to be. So I love that you take that intuitive control now. It's like, we have this gift. We all have it. Each individual has it. And the more we can tap into it, the easier growth becomes, you know. It's
Yes.
like how you said, it just kind of happens, which is so great for you to like explain. And I just love how you said that. I want to come back to something that you mentioned earlier, because I just am intrigued to hear your opinion around the narrative around ads, because I see so much in the online space, like, this is how you make money with ads, or, you know, it's kind of, it can feel like pseudo marketing at times with certain people, not you at all, that are, you know, teaching this. So I would love to know, like, what are those kind of, I guess, like false narratives that you see, and how do you change that with your clients? Like, what does that journey look like?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've learned a lot since coming into this space. I have my mentor, and she's been doing this for a while. So I get to learn so much from her too. And just interacting with other people online and just seeing things that people put out there. It sometimes make me laugh. So some of the misconceptions I've come across, you know, ads are expensive, they don't work. I ran them and I lost money. People think that it costs too much. That organic marketing is the only way to grow. Those are some of the main ones I would say.
Yeah.
That you would hear or see. And it's interesting because this morning when I woke up, I actually I actually wrote some stuff that I want to post later about this very same thing. and when it comes to ads, it's so much more simpler than what is out there.
Yeah.
It's either you're ready for ads or you're not. It's either you want to add it to your marketing strategy or you don't. Like if you have a marketing strategy that's working for you, it's meeting your business goals, it's helping you to create the lifestyle that you want, the business that you want, that's great. And if ads don't factor into that, that is great. So it's not something you need. It's just a matter of the kind of business you want to create. Maybe how fast you want to scale, how much you want to scale. Maybe you just want to keep it organic only because organic works for you. But maybe you want it to scale, and then the organic methods that you currently have requires more of your time and your energy. And so you want to scale, but you also don't want to put in all that time that you're currently putting in. And this is where ads can come in, because one of the main things it will automate for you is your lead generation, right? So whether that's you running ads to a lead magnet that's done well organically, and so you just set it up, you target the people that you need to target, you run the ad campaign that you wanted to run, you set the budget that you want to set it at, and then you just have leads coming in to your email list. They're joining your Facebook group or they're joining you on socials, and then you're selling to them on your social, you're selling to them on your email list, you're selling to them through your Facebook group. So it's really a matter of, do you want to add it to your marketing strategy or you don't? Are you ready for it or you're not? Do you have the budget for it or you don't? It's not rocket science. It's just another aspect of business. Yeah. So when people make it this like thing that's just so complex and big, it's really not. It's very simple. For example, you know, if you're going to run Facebook ads, it's very simple. You're going to set up your ad account, right? You set it up and then you run campaigns. Like that's two things to it. You set it up in the back end, and then once it's set up, you go ahead and you run your campaigns. And it all depends on what kind of campaigns you want to run. What's your business goals? What are the goals of the campaign, right? And then from there, you're creating the campaign. You're choosing who you want to target. You're setting your budget. So one of the things is people also think that they're going to run ads, they're going to lose all this money, right? Yeah. And it's like Facebook and even like TikTok, they have things built in. They give you options. Like you're literally in control of how much money you spend. You get to set your daily budget or just the lifetime budget of the campaign. So if you only want to spend $1,000, even if you only want to spend $500, right? It all depends. If you want to spend $2,000 or $3,000 over the course of say 3 months, and you calculate that budget so you know how much you're spending each day, and you set it but when you reach that budget, then the ad would stop. So if you've budgeted $3,000 for a certain amount of time, and you've calculated how much you want to spend each day from that budget on ads, you have that control. Like you're not going to be losing money unless you're going into running ads and you don't know what to do, you don't know how to set it up. Then that's when you're going to lose money. When you don't have like the ad copy and the graphics or the video resonating with the people that you're targeting and speaking to the audience that you're targeting and the clients, the leads that you want to bring in, then it won't connect and you won't get the results that you're looking for. But me as an ads manager, I make sure you have all your ducks in a row before we even start running ads. We don't just start running ads just for the sake of it. You have to have your ducks in a row. We want to make sure that if we're running ads to your website, when they click on the ad and it takes them to the website, that website is taking them exactly to where they need to go and to sign up or to schedule a call or whatever it is. It needs to be optimized so that when they go to it, it's clear for the lead what they need to do. You don't want to lose the lead, right? So I wouldn't call running ads complex. To me, I think of it as a science, needing to have, certain things in place. But once you have those things in place, really, you start running ads, things go so much more smooth. And from there, you're running at your ads, you're increasing your budget. If a certain campaign is doing well, the ad copy, the graphic or the video, and the audience that you've set up to target are doing well, and you want to increase the budget. That means it's doing well. You're getting more leads in, better leads in. It's just like a science. You just have to know when to turn it up, when to turn it down, when to switch, when to change, what to change, when to change it, right? So I don't think of ads as complex. It's just working with someone who knows what they're doing, and also having your ducks in a row to make sure that when leads are coming in, they're being nurtured so that they can be paying clients for you. It's much more simpler than what's out there, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, because I think as being a solopreneur, like I'm sure you can relate to this too. It's like you come into this space and it's kind of like loud, there's a million people yelling at you, a million things you have to be doing. And that's what I love about your services. It really is done for you, but like also they're a part of the process, communicating with you, saying like, hey, our goals are switching, or maybe we need to target this type of person because these people aren't around that time of year, It's all kind of deciphered with someone else. And I see online, it's like, of course, if you're trying this for the first time and you also have a million other things that you're training on or like working with coaches on, and you're running an ad by yourself, it's not going to be maintained the way it would be working with someone like you, that's in there every day, that knows how to read the insights. And that's what I see all the time with organic marketing too. It's like people will come to me, they'll be like, I don't have time for this. I'm like, it's actually so simple. Like this is stuff you can outsource, and then you don't even have to think about it. So I just love your approach because it seems so unique from what I've seen, like in the online space, like certain ads managers, people will just outsource, or like a graphic designer will make it for them. And it's like, totally going to miss the mark, like they don't know their business. They didn't take the time to get to know them. So I love how you explained the stark differences, because I think it's also just who you work with,
It definitely is. Like for myself, when I think about working with clients, I can't not see myself giving them like the best experience and the best service, because I'm here to serve them, right? And so for me, understanding their business, making sure that they have their and everything going right on their end and everything set up to run ads. I mean, it's a part of the reason of how you're going to get successful results, right? And that's the whole point of running ads. You want to get great results so that you can sell to people who are your, ideal clients that you want to work with and work with them. And my job is to understand your business, understand you. For me, it's a collaboration. We're building a relationship. We're going to work together for 3 months, or we're doing like a done with you, because I also do have like a done with you offer where this is for somebody who maybe they're in the position to run ads, but maybe they don't want to outsource it and they do have the time to do all the things that I've mentioned from before. So I actually set up their ad account for them, and we record a 90-minute session where I create the campaign with them. And I teach them what they need to know to run the ads moving forward. And then they have like 30 days after with me on Slack where we get to communicate. So during that time, they have any questions, anything comes up, anything they may want to change, maybe they don't fully understand, like they're there to ask me any questions so that they get a better understanding of how to run a lead magnet, lead generation ad. So for me, it's all about the relationship. It's all about the collaboration. It's all about understanding the business of the client that wants to work with me, so that I ask them the questions that I need answered, so that when I have the copy being created, when I have the graphic being created, because I outsource those, but I have a team that I outsource those too. So when I'm having the copy and the graphic created, I know exactly what to convey to my team so that the copy is going to match the offer, whether it's the freebie or whether it's a conversion event they have coming up because they're going to be launching something. So it all has to like connect and be cohesive. And for me, that's just an important part of what I do. It has to connect. It has to make sense. And the client does get final approval on the copy and the graphic. And once they're happy with it, we can just go ahead and create the campaign and get everything set up. It's funny that you say it's unique. In my head, I'm thinking, because it's so funny when you're in it, you're thinking everybody knows it, or of course everybody does this. Everybody offers a service that I offer. And then the more I speak to people and they learn about my services or learn about just me and how I work and what's included, just like you said, they think it's like, oh my gosh, it's like the best thing ever. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it is, but I just, like, again, when you're in it, you think it's a different perspective than when from the outside, right? It's just so funny.
Yeah. And it's like, we're in very similar fields, but like also so different, like with our niches, so it's like, I'm sure it is funny for me to like say to you that what you offer is unique, it's like, I don't know that many people that offer this service. And actually in the past, like I've networked with people and asked them like if they know ads managers. These were like past clients that I had that needed support in this space. So I just love all of your different offers. And like, again, how involved you are in it. It's like a sense of safety when you talk about it. And I think because of all of these, I call them pseudo marketers when they like are complaining about something and it's all they complain about like all day. It's like running an ad or something and it failed, which is obviously we've all heard the scary stories. So then everybody gets like stuck on that scary side, but you explain it, it feels like so safe. It's like, cool. Like we're just going to work together and we're just going to talk it through and then we're going to spend some money and like see how it goes. And for me, that seems so amazing, especially being on the marketing side. It's like, it's a trial and error process most of the time, so like that resonates with me too. It's like, okay, cool. Like at least I would have somebody to talk with it through, like that knows the experience of the back end too,
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, for me, you have to be ready for ads. Like I just don't take on clients just for the sake of running ads. It's going to be a waste of my time and energy. And I'm sure it's going to be a waste of theirs. So when you're set up for ads, when you have things going on, this is why organic marketing, like I'm an advocate for organic marketing because that has to be in place first before you even start thinking of running ads. You want to have things converting well before you start running ads. You want your sales process to be converting. You want your offers to be proven, right? You want your funnels to be built out. And even if you don't have certain things in place and maybe things maybe need a little tweaking here and there, like I have network contacts like yourself that I've connected with that I can refer you to help you maybe tweak that thing, that landing page, that sales page, that email sequence that maybe you need to be looked at or tweaked or built out so that when, the leads come in, again, everything goes smoothly. For me, my mantra is simple, easy, fun. If it's not simple, easy, or fun, I don't want no part of it. But for me, it's all fun. Just getting to work with clients and help them get things in order so that when I start working with them, again, everything just goes so smoothly. It's so much fun. Something else came up about like misconceptions earlier, and I was just thinking, like I mentioned before that there's so much control that you do have when it comes to ads, right? You get to put your start date, your stop date, right? If you want to stop running ads at a certain date, you can just have it stop running. One of the things that I've seen, and you've seen it, and you've mentioned as well, is when people are making decisions or just the stories that people put out there, and people take on the belief, they make decisions from a place of fear moving forward. So they're thinking, oh my gosh, this person I knew had this result with ads and they had the most horrible experience. So that means that's going to happen for me. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to run ads. I'm going to continue doing the way that I've been doing, even if the way that I'm doing it isn't in alignment with my business or me, and it's much harder and it's taking more of my time. But what I invite those who are going to listen to this to remember and think about is that when it comes to ads, there are many moving parts. And this is one of the things I don't think people realize. You have, first of all, selecting the right campaign to run your ads. There's also making sure the copy, the words that is going to be on your ads resonate and speak to the people, making them want to read the ad and click on the ad and sign up or go on to your website and schedule a call or buy something, right? There's also the graphic. Is the graphic going to pop off the page? Is it going to capture your audience's attention, right? Is it going to want to make people stop and click or read more or click on it to get to know more about you? Are you targeting the right people, right? You can target so many different people in so many different countries in so many different ways you won't even believe. And then again, if your website is not set up properly to welcome visitors or leads to do the action that you want them to take, right? And then on top of that, if you're having them join your email list, is your email sequences set up to actually convert them? Is your Facebook group that you're having them join set up to actually engage them and again have them signing up for your offers, right? So there's all these moving parts. So when you hear people out there saying ads didn't work, it's too expensive, it's all these things, there could be so many different areas that they didn't have on point and dialed in that could have caused the ads not to work for them. It could be that they spent too much on the ad and it wasn't working and it needed to maybe target a different audience. It could be that they spent too little on the ad and it was an ad that was working and it needed to scale it and increase the budget so that they could get more people in. It could be that they were targeting the right people to begin with. So the quality of leads that were coming in weren't the best, right? Yeah. So it could be any one of these different little things that they didn't have dialed in that didn't make ads work, right? Yeah. So you have to look at it from that point. Like, what place are they saying this from? What energy are they saying this from? What did they not have in place to make it work? Because there's so many moving parts. And this is why, as an ads manager, I say if you have time to test your ad and test the audience and get the copy right and get the graphics right, or even if you're doing a video and knowing what to say and how to connect with your audience, unless you have the time to do all of that, this is where you outsource. If you have the budget and the money, if you're making consistent, 20K months, 50K months, and you don't want to continue doing the same thing you've been doing, and you want to make it easier on yourself, and you don't have the time to do all of what I've talked about, this is where you outsource it to someone like me who takes care of all this for you, right?
I love it. It's such a great description because it's like, at what point, like it's all kind of, I think in this online space, people give a lot of gray area. And like, I love how you said, it's like when you scale to those consistent months, like maybe you're even at 10K months and you just have a bunch of money that you're like, hey, like my process is working and I can invest X amount of money next month towards this process over the next 3 months. And maybe it will help me scale. It probably will, so like, why wouldn't you invest? And for me, that makes so much sense. It's like, okay, I'm making X amount in the management side of the business. Now I can move into coaching and then like I'll fill out my coaching funnel. Like it's like really when you start to get into business and you're able to project into the future, like what you're talking about, it's simple adding somebody in like yourself. Yeah. It's like next question, like next service that we need to add in,
Exactly. You start to hire a team, you manage your team. And so it's all about how you're going to optimize your business. Who do you need to hire on to optimize your business so you can scale to those 100K months, the 250K months or 6-figure year, 7-figure year, right? And it's all about making strategic decisions. So if you're considering running ads, let it be from a place of, this is the next best step for me, not, oh my gosh, somebody had a bad experience or my coach or some guru said this and this and this. And I look up to them and I listen to them and I'm just not going to go ahead and run ads because I'm going to have that same experience. It's a limiting belief is really what it is. Yeah. And at the end of the day, what I've learned, even if you have like the most amazing coach, just because of maybe they had an experience with ads and maybe they choose not to, it doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing. Like at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to make the final decision in your business. So if you think that if it's a call-in and you feel like this is the next step and I want to reach out to someone and speak about ads and see what it could look like, then go ahead and do that. You don't have to do the exact same things as your coach or the guru, right? You get to make that final decision of what works best for you and your goals and like the life and business that you wanted to create.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's so true. I see that a lot, like frequently on this space. In this space, it's like my coach told me this, and then it'll be like a reel about a bunch of stuff that happened, negative or positive. And sometimes it's just not a good fit. Like even I've had coaches in the past, which I've shared on the show before, where we didn't come into each other's lives at the right time. Like it wasn't what she was teaching was wrong or incorrect. It was just not the right timing for me. And it was still such a great learning experience because I did end up investing in some coaches that weren't at the right timing, but I was early on and didn't really know what I was doing. So it's like all about the learning experience. And I think even some of these people that are talking about ads in this negative way, like they could take that as a learning experience, but just like they're coming from a scarcity mindset, like they're not there yet, like they're not making those shifts yet. And again, would you really want to be taking advice from somebody that's like coming from that headspace? Like maybe not,
Yeah, definitely. The headspace is a huge part. And again, having your business just set up and ready for ads is just the next side of it too. Like I said, having all your ducks in a row. Again, even if you just need to tweak some things, maybe you need to set something up, get something more optimized. I mean, that's all part of the process. But the important thing is that you're in the best place to start running ads. You're much more likely to be successful running ads, having things set up so that when you start to run ads, you're just more likely to get the best results. And when you have things, again, working well organically and you're already converted and you're making consistent months, 20K, 50K, any number, really, you're just much more likely to have success with ads.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about being ready. It's either you're ready or you're not. I don't advise business owners, especially new business owners. One of the things I do here is that they've been told to start running ads as soon as they start their business, start running ads to get yourself out there. And personally, I just from what I've seen, what I've heard, and I don't recommend you start running ads when you just started your business. You have to get the organic part down first. Again, it's a journey. And you're going to be having to figure out so many things on the journey of starting your business and growing your business. And the best way for you to do that is organically. You'll learn what works, you'll learn what don't work, and then you'll calibrate to what's working. And then you'll learn some new stuff about what's working and what's not working. And then you recalibrate again until you get to a point where things are just going along so smoothly. So when you factor ads into something that you're still working on, still trying to figure out, still trying to piece together, you're less likely to get the results you're looking for. You're more likely to spend more money than you want, especially if your business is not having consistent months where you can, if you want to outsource ads, paying the service of the ads manager plus the budget that you're going to be invested in ads. So this is why I recommend new business owners start organically, proving your offers, building your business, building your sales process, making sure it converts, taking them through a process that is going to be converted so that when you start running ads, those who are coming in, you're essentially just reaching more of your ideal clients with ads, right? You're reaching thousands more people and you're attracting more of clients that you're already working with. So those who are currently working with you, or they've gone through the process, they convert easily, they're your ideal dream soul aligned clients. You're going to be attracting more of those into your business and they get to go through that same process, which again, more likely you're going to be converting them into paying clients.
Yeah, that's such a great point. I think I love how you explain the organic side of things too. I think when people want to start a business, it's like, let's fire on all cylinders and put everything we have into the business, And I'm always like, no, like all you need literally to start a business is like an Instagram account. Like you do not need a bunch of money, like it's all of these stories that people tell us. Again, like I would consider them limiting beliefs, exactly like what you said, anybody can start a business from literally their phone, as long as you have a product or a service that's actually going to benefit people and you know that you can teach people how to do that or sell them this product. It's like, why the hell not? I just listened to this podcast the other day and it was about money mindset, limiting beliefs. And when you're spending a lot of money or charging a lot of money, like how can you wrap your brain around it? Just for people that struggle with it, I definitely have money mindset issues. So I was intrigued by this episode. My coach had sent it to me, and she basically was saying, like, if you have something that's going to impact people's lives, it's kind of selfish of you to like not put it out there, you know, like, and
I've heard that. Yeah.
you know, I feel like that really resonated with me. I was like, I like that a lot. And I think that that's also what you're saying. It's like, why would you optimize on a product or service that you haven't even tested yet, you know, to like see if it works before then you invest in the ads? Like, it all is a journey. And I completely agree. It's up and down. Like, even for me, I thought we would go all in on management. If you would have asked me last year, like how I was going to grow my business in 2023, 2024, 2025, like I would have told you management. And now I'm like, I really like coaching. So it's like, you can define your process over and over again, but also, is that what you want to be doing? Is that what you want to go all in on? You know, like with ads, like these are the questions that I'm asking myself now. So it's great to hear you say that. And the evolution is just a part of the process, you know, of getting to that point where you are there. You're at that tipping point, and then it will just blow up overnight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And these are things that I've literally had to learn on my own over the last probably about 4 months now. Yeah. I've gone through this expensive journey of just mindset and beliefs and, you know, business of you start off in the online space and you see people, you know, they're posting about all the amazing results that they're getting. And I'm just excited for them because when I see that, it just makes me excited because I know that that's waiting for me as well, right? You also hear people say, you know, you have to do things this way and it has to be done that way. And again, when you don't know, you just don't know. And so you're listening to the people who have the success, who've been there and done that, and you're doing it all these different type of ways. And it got to the point where I just got so stressed and frustrated, so much tension and resistance because I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm like, if I'm doing all these things, and then I want to attract clients to work with me, how can I give them the service that I envision myself providing them and the kind of results that I want to get for them if I'm just stressed out and frustrated because I'm trying to do all these things that I'm supposed to be doing? And one thing I've learned through that process, I learned how simple, easy, and fun. You want it to feel good. And when I say feel good, I don't mean that it won't be uncomfortable. One of the things I've learned is becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. And I've learned how to discern between, am I feeling fear to go through with this thing because I'm afraid of what others are going to say, or I'm afraid of what it's going to mean, but I just still need to move through it despite that feeling of fear? Or is it like, my intuition, resistance guided me and I'm feeling the fear because it actually doesn't want me to move forward with that thing. Like I think what I've learned is that there's just two sides to, like if I'm feeling fear, I ask myself, where's the fear coming from? Is it me being afraid because, oh my gosh, I want to do a live and I'm afraid of what people are going to say and think and blah, blah, blah. I'm afraid I won't say the right thing and I won't be like natural. Or is it because, you know, it's just not something that I'm being guided not to do, and you're feeling that fear. It's just not the moves that you're supposed to make. So this is where I've learned how to really sit with myself, feel the feelings, and understand where's the fear coming from. And as I'm moving forward, is it because I'm afraid of what the external world is going to think or say, or is it because it's just not the direction that myself wants me to go? And you have to understand where things are coming from. And again, the same thing with ads. You have to understand where that little belief and feeling is coming from. Is it because somebody said something that made you afraid and projected a limiting belief on you, even though it could be the thing that you actually need to do, but you're not listening to yourself. You're listening to someone else based on their experience. And again, we don't know what created the experience that they had. Again, it could be so many different things. And that's one thing people just need to realize. When people are sharing their experience, it could be so many, whether it's a good experience or not so good experience, so many things created that. right? So you have to know, you have to really listen to yourself. And when I simplify things, when I just stop doing all the things and just focus on, okay, what is it that I feel good about? Do I feel good about posting every day on social media, or do I just want to do it a few times a week? Do I feel good going into groups and engaging and talking, or do I just not want to do that? Do I want to go live ever so often, or I just really don't care to do live? Is it because I'm afraid of doing it, or I just don't really care to do it, right? Do I want to be doing all these things, or do I not want to be doing all these things? Is there a better way I could be doing it that is more in alignment with me, that feels good, that feels fun? Or do I have to force myself to do it the way that this coach or this guru said I need to do it because that's what worked for them? Yeah. And again, they had a whole experience, like they're themselves. They've had a life. They've had an experience that has shaped how they think and how they feel. And what worked for them is not going to work for you and your life and your experience and who you are and how you see things, right? It's so much more deeper than, than it really is.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned. So you have to really sit with yourself, have those quiet moments to just ask yourself, how do I move forward? What do you feel about this? What do you think about this? And just see what comes up in your body, right? Yeah. Sometimes things are going to come up that feels so resistance. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. But one of the things I've learned that is so powerful is literally sitting with those icky, gross feeling and just realize that you're so much more than these feelings. Like, they're not going to kill you. That's what I tell myself. I'm like, you know what? These feelings are not going to kill me. This thought is not going to kill me. And even if it does, I'm like, oh well, I had a good life.
I know.
I say like little things to myself to just remind myself that it's not that big a deal. Like, if you're feeling this way about something, it doesn't mean that it won't change. It could be a yes now and a no later, or it could be a no right now and then a yes later. Things are always going to be changing and evolving. So the easiest thing you can do is kind of just go with the flow, sit with yourself. You can try different things, see what works. And then whatever it is that works, you put it together. And then before you know, you have a whole system that works for you, and you can move forward with that. But you don't have to be doing all the things all at once. You can simplify things for yourself, make it easier, make it be fun for you to come each day to your business and just enjoy it and do the things that feel fun and exciting, right? And engage with people and connect with people. And if something is not working, you get to change that. Like, you have the choice and the option to change things that aren't working and allow things that want to work for you into your business. But it all comes from tuning out the noise, tuning out the bullshit, and listening to yourself first. Because if somebody says, do it this way, this is what I did, this is how it worked, sit with yourself, asking yourself, is that how I want to do it? And if it seems like something fun, you know what, I want to give that a try. Give it a try. It may work out or it may not work out, but you learn from that, and then you recalibrate to something new. You have a new experience that you get to learn from and recalibrate to something new, and then you get to move forward from there. Like, it literally is a journey, and it's a learning process. And the more you learn to have fun with it, the easier it gets.
And that's just part of my conversation with Nicola Coco. Thank you guys so much for listening to part 1 of this interview. Part 2 will be coming out next Wednesday. I cannot wait to share the rest with you all.